Good evening. Just live on YouTube right now. What's up? What's up? Buy and ask question. Just posting some stuff on the internets. Guess on Twitter too. Why not? Live on YouTube. Log in and tweet. All done. All right. All right. So I'm just trying a new setup here, but if anyone can confirm that you actually hear my voice and this beat that I'm about to press play on. All right, seems to be working. So I'm just gonna. This is the beat I started this morning, and hang on, I'm still doing some social media sharing. Started this beat this morning just for fun. I'm just gonna go through it like sound by sound, show the processing, and see where I can take it. Just for the hell of it, and hopefully you guys can pick up some tips and ideas, or if you have any questions, please do ask, because sort of what I'm doing here, I feel after 20 years of this, it's cool to pass on some skills and knowledge and connect with people in the love of music. Now, I should have prepared better, but it's how I roll, man. It's kind of on a whim. Just checking things out. Anyway, so we'll go through the beat. Again, anyone here, do let me know, and let's dig in. Well, coffee first, obviously. P.S. I don't hear myself except from, my own voice in my head, but kind of weird. Excuse me. Anyway, hope everyone is having a great Sunday. It is Sunday, right? Yeah. I should know this. My kid is in the kindergarten. Anyway, so this beat, I was just started watching that. What's that Netflix show? Hip Hop Evolution, or the Origin of Hip Hop. Really cool show. You should check it out. It's on Netflix. It just made me like go through some beats, because I'm somewhat fascinated by the hip hop vibe, like just a little textures and like cool little licks and stuff, how they make that work. So anyway, started doing things like that once in a while. I find this is also a great way to step out of my usual workflow, and what I usually do is I find this is a great way to break up your habits a little bit, shake it up a bit, and thus in the long run inspire you in ways you didn't initially think of. For those wondering, yeah, I am in Cubase 9.5, Windows 10, and let's play the beat. Just want to see we're connecting with people here, making sure everything is running. All right, so I'm just gonna play the beats. So that's sort of the loop I got going on here. Start with the drums. I don't think I made it in. Oh yeah, I did made a drum buzz. So all the red ones, except from this guy, I guess, are the drums. Nothing crazy. For some reason, everything played. Bonkers. All right, so I guess I don't have groups yet. All right. And second. I'm not a noob, I promise, but sometimes I do noob-like things. Because, yeah. So these are only the drums that you will hear now. So that's your drum. Now, the pattern is shuffled, as you can see in the grid. Oh, wait. It's a 8 notes shuffle. I believe I put it to 26. Oh, 46. 46% swing, which is what kind of gives you that, feel. Otherwise, it would sound too mechanical, especially using, electronic drum samples and stuff. How's the streaming quality? Is it solid? Is there any glitches? Nothing. What the flip? Borrowing that phrase from someone else. All right, so. So what I got in a drum buzz. This is like my drum buzz chain. Really love this New York tube saturation. Without it, give you that little fatness, crunch, more frequency content. So saturating it. I even think this is cool, but I wanted sort of, non-industrial, dark, uber distorted thing. This is actually a cool thing. I like the sound of that, but I don't want it to, destroy the cleanness. So what I would usually do is run this into a parallel chain with the drums and then just kind of mix it in. Maybe a little bit more in the chorus, a little bit less in the verse, that kind of stuff. What I'm listening for, to find that sweet spot, I'm listening for when the kick drum doesn't sound broken up. just below that point. Right around 7. And there's nothing crazy, a little bit trimmer, because I seem to be one of those guys that mix loud, even though I'm trying to bring her down. The mix buzz on the Trident setting. Quite a bit of saturation. Drive it into the input. The good old FG stress on 4.1. Attack sort of slow, faster release. As they call it, glue. It just brings it all together. A little bit up top. A little bit of that good Neve bottom end. And that's pretty much it for the drums. There are 2 kick sounds. There's this one. I'll show you what's going on there. This is like the kick. I called it the add kick. I guess I should put that in. I started to layer kick sounds. Like sometimes you like the low end from one, and then I really love these 80s, late 80s drum machine kick drums. They have this really cool attack and character to them, so I mixed that in. You gotta just watch the phase and certain things. But so the raw sample is like so. Hang on, what the flip? Did some low and high pass. course, on the Pro Q3, I went a bit crazy there. Just wanted to put it in the ballpark of where it should be. I know you're thinking this is insane. Hey, sounds good. Stereo delay is what I what I use to I separate it so it's not in the middle. It's just on the sides. Kind of gives you your drum, like your kick drum, a bit of a stereo feel without ruining your low end frequency. Thus, this crazy EQ move. Of course, one of my favorite plugins, NLS channel by Waves. This thing is pretty much on everything I do. Sometimes on every single channel, because they did something brilliant. They not modulated. They modeled like the desks. So like each channel of the desk, because as you know, analog desks, each channel does sound a little bit different. And we're not talking like noticeably different, but there's a little differences as you go through the desk. So this plugin emulates that. I believe, what is it, up to 32 channels? Pretty sweet. And the mic setting just crunches the shit out of it. It gives it some balls, a little bit of grit, a little bit of anger, angst. So there's that, and then the other kick. Yeah, I know there's some edits. Again, this is just work in progress, just showing. I believe this kick is from, a Black Octopus Leviathan pack, I believe. So, see, if you just play that one kick, which is like, it's cool, tight, but I wanted something more, so I added this other guy. Yeah, there's some clicks because I haven't, gone in there and edited to perfection yet. And there is 2 snares. Pretty standard these days. Oh yeah, this snare has some stuff going on. I just really like that sound to it. So it sort of fills up the higher frequencies because this one is like, I guess you could call a darker snare. This one has more of a psst. And then I use my new favorite reverb besides the Slate Digital one, the Spaces 2 by East West. This thing is freaking insane. Using a LA parking garage reverb with an unhealthy amount of pre-delay, just so it sort of creates like a bit of a space. Pretty sweet. 414. So if you bring it down, it will sound like this. But I wanted this. A little bit of EQ. Well, took some top end off just a little bit. Hi-hat. Straight up. And this is being ducked by the kick and the snare. So if you go like this, you'll see. If I did this, then the height will just be like a consistent, same equal, perfect mathematical volume. Kind of works on the kick, so maybe I did it a bit too much. Kind of missed that little initial hit. There you go. So basically what this does, it's the kick and the snare is sending a trigger signal into the compressor, so every time a kick and a snare hits, the hi-hat goes down in volume, which is also how you would make drum and bass or jungle hip-hop, where the instruments sort of play with each other. It's not just machine perfect. Creates more of a groove feeling. that. It's a little ride that I used as an open hi-hat. Of course, crazy crash. I found this cool sound, finger percussion. Just felt it added kind of like a steady, cool little beat. Also using the delay to split it out into stereo versus like that. 150 millisecond delay, so it's sort of lagging a bit, but that's sort of the vibe on this. And that's the thing, still discovering this, but come from the industrial background, EBM, where things is like machine tight, perfect. It's actually always cool to have at least a couple of elements in your song or beat or whatever that is a bit off. It really brings feel, groove. Sometimes if you ask yourself, wow, this song works so well, what is it? And if you saw the session, you will look in there, there's stuff in there that isn't like, perfect or right on the grid. So try that. You'll be surprised. Even in techno, electronic, EDM, you name it. Just gonna quickly check on the status here. One view. All right. Maybe I should have done this on my other channel. I'm just trying to bring traffic onto this channel now that I'm freed up some time. It's just cool to get in there and start posting stuff. And again, I'm in the middle of setting up my Patreon page, so I'll be posting some exclusive videos and freebies like sample packs, presets, whatever else I come up with. I'm just going to keep digging into this so you can see what else is going on. I'm just hoping that the microphone is actually recording. Oh, what is that? Yeah, Moo Boys. All right, so, and then there's the sub bass. And I just use a preset for, they call it All Synth 808 on this guy from Anna 2. Messed around a little bit with some settings, but I just wanted some low end, so I just used that. A little bit of EQ. Felt maybe it's just sounds warmer with this on, and this too is being sidechained by the kick. So if I wrong kick, there we go. Why you do this, you might ask? Well, very often sub bass and kick drums are not good friends. Depends on how you program it, obviously, too. But in this case, the kick and the bass often goes at the same time. So, you got to make a decision. And in this case, I let the kick sort of beat a master on that beat. And then the sub bass kind of does its own thing. Oh, shit. Is that camera even on? Man, I gotta set this up better. Bit of a punk rock vibe here with the setup. But hey, I'm learning the streaming thing, and we'll just get it going. One at a time. There, now you can see me. See, I can't see what you guys see, so maybe I should bring out a laptop on the side so I can kind of like keep an eye on the stream. Anyway, any questions, go for it. Oops. Okay. Yeah. for some vibe, I went and grabbed some pads. Just wanted some texture, like a bit of a mood. And there's lots of stuff. A lot of processing. So without it, it sounds like this. And part of me says, fuck, it kind of sounds cooler. Like that's vibe. Okay, let's try that without any plugins. Maybe this reverb isn't necessary. Anyway, so with this, basic EQing, a little bit of low and high cut, and of course this guy. I love this for like a bit of weird sounds, like stereo modulation. Just great. And the drive on it is really sick. You can edit it. What it basically does is splits your signal into 3, left, right, and center. Sometimes you can cut the center out. Make it go faster, maybe. So that's what's going on. And then there's other pad. I used snap heap, but kilohertz on there. Without it, it's like. I gotta flatten the processing so random clicks and stuff doesn't happen. So what did I do? -12 pitch shifter, resonator, and G5, which is the key of this beat. Some drive. That's pretty much it. Some guitar pluck things. This is the EQ on it. So I didn't do much with that yet. And then there's like a guitar. Sorry, excuse me. Using the Slate THU over loud setting, clean guitar. Yeah, this guy. Sounds like this without anything on it. And that's pretty much it. And of course, this vocal sample. It's another Black Octopus Sound sample pack that I just found some stuff. So a lady saying OMG. She just said it faster. I just cut it so it fits the song. OMG. Oh, this one is like crazy amount of processing. This is the clean. OMG. OMG. And with the processing. OMG. The first thing is the R box. Just to, OMG. Okay, let's do it step by step there. OMG. Let's compress it. OMG. OMG. Just puts it in ballpark. And then -12 and a pitch shifter. OMG. And you get that, deeper. OMG. OMG. A little bit of that. And this is where things get crazy. Bit crusher, resonator, again, G. A little bit of distortion and the Haas effect to like send it out in space. Mute these.
O.
Okay, so clean.
OMG.
A little bit crusher.
OMG.
Just hear that little bit of the bit crushy feeling.
Oh.
If I bring it up, you can hear it more.
OMG. OMG.
But I didn't want too much of it. So
OMG.
the resonator, just to put a little bit of a note on it.
OMG.
Just a little bit.
OMG.
Distortion, because I love distortion.
OMG.
And then the Haas.
OMG.
I put quite a bit of delay on it, so it kind of feels a bit, not just stereo, but it's actually fucking with your head a bit. So there's that. And the next guy, more EQ. A little bit of control, because we added some harmonics through the distortion, the the resonator, and all that stuff. So
OMG.
just controlling it a bit. And then more distortion, because why not?
OMG.
Sort of just helps it along a bit. And vocal compression.
OMG.
And the last, another EQ. All right.
OMG.
Because what happens when you add distortion or saturation or overdrive or whatever you want to call it, we are essentially adding more frequencies, more harmonic content to your sound, meaning you will get a louder, more low end, more high end, more everything. So after saturation, distortion, I highly advise to use an EQ just to like bring it back to the ballpark of where you want the sound to be. And what a lot of people seem to forget, when you add saturation, it also gives you more low end. Like very often after saturation, even though you high passed the vocal or whatever instrument before, you will get a lot of low end. So you just gotta make sure you carve that back out. Otherwise your mix will just sound muddy and you'll be like mixing it like, what the fuck? So just make sure to check that stuff, I would say. And another sample. What's the original? So pitch shifter, reverb, the format filter. If I bring the format filter up. These are little things. Each on their own isn't like drastic, crazy thing, but you add your character, you add your vibe to it, your sound, your thing, right? So that's all the sounds in here. Now, I'm no rapper, but if there's a rapper out there who thinks this is pretty badass, you can contact me and maybe you can drop some rhymes, bro. Or girl, or lady. Doesn't matter. If there's a dog or a cat out there that knows how to drop some rhymes, go for it. think we're good. Just wanted to show you this beat. Now I get to see if this stream worked out, if you could actually hear everything. You should be able to. I checked, but you know, technology. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Please press like or dislike if you must. If anyone has any ideas or desires for certain videos of certain kinds, or if you want, you know, more in depth. What am I talking about? I'm just telling you, hey, welcome to this channel. Glad you're here. Appreciate that. And there's going to be more videos coming soon. And if you have any recommendations or suggestions to videos, please comment or message. Hi, Thomas. How's it going? Does this work? Yeah. This works. It's just so fucking weird not to hear yourself talking. But that's all right. Play this. I'm just going to jam on this for a bit. I can see comments, chat, so talk away if there's a question. I do kind of want to try to get that pad to sort of pump with the beat more. So I'll do this compression sidechaining thingy I do. I chose Opto because that one seems to work the best for like these type of things, because it has a very quick attack and release. So you can, again, this is so program dependent, depends exactly what you're doing, or even on the tempo of the song. And there is no like one answer. Try it out, find out what works for you. In this case, Opto on pretty much the fastest attack and release. And so I want to kick to rock that. Pad 1. Helps if pad is actually playing. Now we go a little bit crazy. So instead of being this, you get kind of a bit slower release, I think. And yes, you could be all Mr. Professor Mathematic perfect release time by going to calculator. It's just like, what is exactly, you know, the 1/4 note of 151 BPM, but trust your ears, like go by the vibe. Just wondering if I should get the snare to react to it. Well, one way to find out, isn't it? Use this one. Send to pad 1. Let's see how that sounds. Oh yeah, I like that. It kind of creates that feel. Just notice the snare has a little bit too much low end there. See all that stuff down here? You don't need it. Although in this case, I kind of get away with it because there is no kick and snare at the same time. But don't need it that much. All right, now let's hear the whole thing with the sidechain on the pad. I'm going to adjust for volume to make sure it's equally loud. Gets a bit weird with these kicks here. I don't know, I kind of like it. So now, instead of this, you get this. Actually, I'm going to get all fancy here. I'll check this out. I can automate the sidechain. I didn't like it being on the last snare, so I'm going to just automate that off. I'm just going to check which one that was. Oh yeah, right. It doesn't. So it's only the reverb that will. So see, because I'm sidechaining this pad now, I can maybe bring up the reverb because something really cool happens when you sidechain after the reverb. When you sidechain with the reverb on, it just gives you that space, but not that wetness. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anytime, man. But I kind of like that stop there, so maybe I'll bring back the reverb a little bit again. I want that silence. Maybe I'll automate that. Just make it pretty much gone. And maybe on the other one I can do the opposite and just bring up the volume. To your tastes. But anyway, so yeah, that sidechain thing worked out. You can obviously fine tune it, like maybe you don't want the sub. This, for those that don't know, this section down here tells you what frequency range or what specific frequencies you want the compressor to respond to with the sidechain. Yeah. Let's gonna see if I can make this even crazier with some more samples. Some more vocals. All right. Clicks. Sweet. See, I don't like using synth loops, music loops. I mean, maybe there's some cool piano stuff. Let's see. We are in the key of G. Let's be lazy and find the G. Yeah. Back. New folder. This is a massive preset. Sorry, I was just going through some sample packs. It's got a few new ones I haven't checked in a while. Sound effects. That's kind of cool.
But yeah,
But yeah. Organic elements. We like organic elements. Oh shit, it's in G. I'm gonna just try because it's in G. Loud ass balls. What is this? Let's see the bass here. Kind of cool. So mute the bass. Anyway, not that cool. Let's see what else we got here. Arriba! I mean, alright, let's find some vocal stuff. Future pop. I always get a kick out of that because these days future pop is not the future pop that I'm used to. That's kind of cool. This might be cool. I'm just listening. Loop 4. A little bit off in the timing there. It kind of works though. Let's cut that little sucker out. I like to cut things, especially like super wet stuff. Just like, stop. Things you can do. Initially I had this here. So it was like this. That was before I had the OMG thing, so far too easy to start adding too much stuff. Another thing I'm still learning, the whole magic of less is more, which is why hip hop sounds so good, because you know it's not like super uber layered with a bunch of shit. It's just straight up good sounds, good production, good mixing. All right, let's not start messing too much with it. still here. Oh, whoa. Questions. That's tricky in the compressor. Also low end to cut down. Compressing the low end. This is sort of the early stage of the whole thing. I mean, it's just a beat. I haven't had any intentions of like mixing it finally. I probably would use a multi-band compressor on the low end. Probably in the mastering chain, like the master buzz. Just a little thing that keeps the low end tight. I mean, sometimes I use this plugin, the Waves multi-band. Nope, not this guy. The multi one. This one, just to like control stuff. But I have mixed results with using the Waves limiters. I know a lot of people rave about them, but maybe I'm just not used to the sound of it. But sometimes if things are a bit out of whack, I do drop this on just to like keep it under control. But as you can hear, it's just not a fan. I mean, in this case, this might be a good thing. Like that distortion there. But going pretty crazy, of course. Let's see how that sounds actually. Yeah, I mean, it could work. Yeah, Thomas, what you're talking about is usually what I do, like when I'm like pretty much done with the song, and then I'll go in the master buzz or drum buzz and control some low ends that way. I mean, again, there's no one question, no one answer, because it so depends on the song. It really depends on the song. Depends how it's programmed, how it's arranged, what sounds are there, the levels. It's I find it's far too easy to do things because you read somewhere or you heard someone say that you should do that. It's a dangerous thing, because more often than not, I've actually ruined mixes because I thought I should do this without having a neutral point of view. And someone's like, this is what people do, so I must do this. That's a very, very bad thing. Only do stuff that makes sense in that specific song. Because like in the master bus here, the only thing I got going right now is this Pro L limiter. And on the drum bus, a little bit of, I like this EDM Punch 2 preset with some tweaks. And that's all it's I put this on my master bus pretty much all the time because it does pretty much what you're talking about. It brings out more presence in the mids and highs. Yeah. I mean, in this day and age where, try to cram so much into a song, like, what do you call a dense mix? Like, especially in the hybrid, like EDM or rocktronica, what they call it. Just all the frequencies all the time. It makes mixing a very challenging task for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of DAWs today and the tools we can use. Like 20-year-old me is just freaking the fuck out because I can do anything. You know, back in the day, it was like, what's a EQ? What's a compressor? I don't know. I don't know. See, I just realized I made a mistake that the pads and the vocal was actually also going into the drum bus because what the fuck. But there we go. I'm gonna try this parallel chain trick. Let's see if we can get those drums to sound even more punchy. The beginning almost sounds like that. What's that song? Killing me softly. Anyway, okay, so parallel chain on the drum buzz. So hang on, I'm on the other screen. I will drag it over. There we go. Good old slate. Just love it. So drum power. Now, let's try something different. Don't need that. Just gonna bring it down a second. Brit N for a bit more low end. Destroy the shit out of this. The parallel chain is not active. I mean, it's not audible yet. I'm just looking for some stuff. Today is all about trying something different. I usually go with the FG Stress for this, but let's try something like these motherfuckers. Just crush the obliterate. We like that. So I'm going to bring that parallel chain in a bit and see what happens. Really love how the hi-hat comes out. Might need to add some attack to it. Hang on, what the fridge? This is without the parallel chain. Turning it on. Hear how that hi-hat just really comes to life. Lost a little bit of that attack, so I'm gonna correct that. Maybe use a compressor after a compressor. Yes, this is a thing, and you should try it out. Like specifically here, the hi-hat, it really, really sounds awesome with this chain on. Just without. Pretty sweet. Obviously mixed it in too loud now, so I'm gonna hear it in context. Always listen in context. It's far too easy to like solo one thing and then, oh, this sounds great, and then you put it on the mix. It's like, oh shit. Because let's face it, nobody is gonna hear your song the way you hear it in Cubase or whatever your DAW is. Nobody's gonna hear every single instrument. They will hear it as a full song, and that's how you should mix too. Just looking at comments. All right. What else to do with this thing? Yeah, I was looking for vocal. Whoa, 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 whoa. We just went into another galaxy. Robot. OMG. I guess if I want to be like uber gangster, I can just remove the M and be like OG. What the fuck? That was a shitty joke, dude. I know. Checking the quality of the stream. Yeah, that's the guy. Still working? Still good? All right. No warnings. Very good. All right. It's probably why they always have two people involved in this. So one person can monitor the stream itself while the other person does what I'm doing right now. Maybe when my kid is a little bit older, he can take care of all that stuff. Let's see what. Mixing in mono. Huh. To be honest, I've never consciously done that, except from back in the day. I'm talking like 93, 94, where I had a tape recorder, like a 4-track Tascam, where everything was mono. Like, I wanted a stereo pad, you had to use 2 of your 4 channels and then bounce those into. Yeah. I don't worry about that mono thing, to be honest, because why should I make music in mono? You know what I mean? This isn't the 60s, 50s, or whatever. I get the gist, like what I work, like you focus on, make sure your kicks, like your bass is, solid at the low end. Essentially what really matters. I mean, sure, you can use front 242 or even the Beatles. I think the Doors did that a lot too. Like the drum kit is literally on one side of the mix and the guitar and vocal is like on the other side, which is, cool and creative, but what you should worry about is like your face, like again, the bass in your song. Like you got to make sure that shit is in mono. I think anything below, say, I don't know, 150 should literally be dead center in mono. Because I did actually have an experience for a live show once with the Icon of Coil. I think it was Chicago. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But the sound guy, he was like, setting up, checking sound, and we were like listening. We were like, where's the kick? Like we couldn't hear the kick. And I was like, what? And it turned out there were some phase issues, or the way the PA was set up, or some kind of issue that actually he had to. I think we played in mono that day, just because. The kick was just gone from the PA. We're just like, yeah, well, we kind of need that kick, so. But this was like in the early days, so there's obviously still much fucking around in the mixes. Didn't know, like, how I wish I could go back to mix the old songs again, but, leave it the way it is. Because So yeah, low end is definitely something you need to worry about. Um, I'm trying to think of another thought about this mono thing. Like, do you know anyone listening in mono? I don't think I do. So I'm not sure if I don't. Yeah, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I do check the low end though, and what I do usually on the master buzz to like sort of fix that. There's two ways. You can use like Ozone 8 to turn your low end to mono, or what I tend to do. Let's just see. So this is the EQ is on going out on the stereo master out prior to the limiter. So I mean, sure, ideally I'll bring this. Don't need that stuff down there. But what I usually do though, I put, hang on, don't want to mess with this thing. When you put that on side, so it's only removing the low end from your sides. So I usually bring it up to like, again, depends on the key of the song and sort of things, but something like here. This way, I avoid any weirdness in the low end below. In this case, what is it? 101. Let's see if this is basically mono right here. But that's probably much like a whole different subject alone, the mid-side processing, which is kind of like a secret sauce thing. Any more questions? I'm just going to look for some more samples to play with, mess around with, in case anyone has a question. Effects loops. I used to hate loops. Fuck loops. Make your own stuff. But, you know, doesn't matter. Like, back in the day, it used to be drum machines. Now you have drum samples, which is basically a limitless drum machine. So, fuck it. Just, you know, do your thing to it, though. Like, make it your own somehow. Soundscapes. Let's see. Millennial atmospheres. Is that gonna be baby cries? I'm sorry. Ooh, cool. Actually, that sound might be cool for like sort of in the hip hop territory here. Or right off the bat, I can hear there's low end. I don't need. See that? It doesn't sound like there's a lot of bass in there, but look at all this shit. I think a steeper curve there. Right? Now you hear it when I unmute it. Always watch for that. Like anything that isn't bass or bass-like, you literally take that off, because people keep asking me how your mixes, they sound so clean, even though they're like distorted and blah blah blah. Well, check your low end stuff. Like you'll be surprised. Like even hi-hat sounds or certain sounds that you wouldn't expect to have low frequency content has a lot. And then there's one sound, and then there's 20 more sounds with that, and next thing you know, your mix just like doesn't. It's just a party gone wrong. Anyway, let's see. What key is that in? Can anyone tell me what note this is? It almost sounds like it could fit with a G, actually. Just looking for the root. definitely not a G. Okay, so it's that was a weird way to find a key, but there it is. So it's D sharp. If I bring it down one, it should work. Well, D and G are friends. So one down. Now it should be in D. That way I can make it work with a... Alright, we don't want that though. A little bit of that top end too, don't need it. Kind of cool though. I'm always worried about this frequency range. It's like get that naggy, sharp fuck, you know, sound. You don't want that. Big fan of dynamic EQ versus, what do you call it, static? Well, sounds more natural, especially on vocals or any organic instrument where, you know, certain frequencies poke out once in a while. They don't like constantly there. It's good to drop a dynamic EQ on it instead of like just a static. Why is this not doing 0? There. Yeah, that frequency. I'll emphasize it so you can really hear it. Wow, nasty. Still think some of that low end can come out. Bucket frequency, like 100, 300. Poo poo. Okay. Some neighbors dealing with some shit. All right, so let's see if this works. Really like that sound, so let's see how I can make that work. To get a good groove, you just gotta find the right spot. Get crazy because see, I can pan that. I'll pan that guy all the way up to the left, right. I mean, why would you do that? Because I want to pan this to the left. So that will create some stereo movement. Maybe that's cool. We'll see. Sometimes maybe panning a little, not all the way, just a little bit. Yeah. That's the thing I find myself doing a lot is like, oh, pan all the way up. Yeah, try it. There's all this space in between center and left or right. Try to, like with guitars, you know, you do the typical 2 takes all the way left, all the way right. And then you do another 2 takes and put them like sort of in between, left and right. You kind of get that full sound. Vox effects. I can turn that on. All right, grab a couple more channels since we're on the roll. Any ideas of what else should be in this? Any thoughts? Look, you millennials, you're numbered. Don't worry, I'm not hating on millennials. Real textures. Silver mellow. Like, what the fuck is silver mellow? Street noises. What's it? Meh. Vinyl crack. Ooh, can choose between 7 and 12 inch. Cool to add that sometimes. Let's see, what is this? Ad libs. We are in G, so let's be lazy. Spoken. Single words.
I listen, maybe. Me, maybe. No, sometimes. Spank,
Well, you know what I gotta do now.
sometimes. Spank me, sometimes. Go. Hey, spank me. Spank me. Yes.
Anyway, having a lot of fun. Media Bay. Sometimes I do. If I know what I'm looking for and like what specific folder, I just do import audio. Just press I and poof, it shows up. I do have to go into my Media Bay to fine tune some settings, I think, because currently it duplicates, like it goes through like projects. I have to like, choose, probably not all media for one. But yeah, I just got to go in here and make the browser more in tune with the way I need it to be. Because it like gives me like 20 copies of the same hi-hat sound because it's on my drive. I just gotta... Haven't had time, man. Haven't had time. What I really love about this guy is... Oh, sweet 606. Is you can, just insert into project or my personal favorite. Create a sample track straight from there. That's cool. But yeah, I don't use Media Bay as much as everybody else seems to be. I think I gotta just get in there and, still so much to learn about Cubase. Hi, Elizabeth. You should pitch down that no after spank me. Yes. I should. Where was it? Spoken? Single words. There we go.
Some spank. Maybe.
Wait. Got a sentence here.
Spank me. Maybe.
Or
listen. Maybe. Spank me. What? You spank me sometimes. Hey.
Anyway.
Never. What? Yeah. Yes.
There's memes. What the fuck?
All day, every day. Bigger, louder, fatter, stronger.
Oh, I can... Yeah, this is fun stuff to do. You just make...
More cowbell.
Obviously.
No you. OMG.
Oh yeah, that's the original... I'll show you. This is the original version of this.
OMG.
This is the way it actually sounds.
OMG.
So if I cut out all my VSTs.
OMG. OMG.
So yeah. OM.
It's lit, fam. LMFAO. Meep. More, bigger, more. OMG. Pass the lean. Side. Put it down. Real trap. Sad boy.
There's so many phrases and words. Like, I don't... What the fuck?
Skirt. Slay, bitches. Skirt.
Yeah, it's skirt.
Slay, bitches.
Oh, I gotta use this in a song.
Triggered.
Oh, I gotta remember this. I have to use this in a song. Triggered.
You did not. Triggered.
Shit. All right, DJ.
Analog. Bass boosted. In the mix. Instant replay.
Instruments. Oops. Chops. We are at 151. This is cool. Yeah, that's how a lot of music is made. Let's see. 140. That's when the time stretches to. just to hear, because sometimes I find like one thing out of this whole thing, this whole sample, like one little snippet. See, I heard something cool in here. Yeah, see, this one is off key. Hang on. There's one more here. There's something really catchy in here. Hang on. So now this might not be necessary. Probably keep it at the same. Ah, that is pretty sweet. Back loop. Be back. Now, since this is a raw sample, I'm gonna go to town with the kilohertz one. It's kind of my favorite new multi effects plugin. Just can do so much cool stuff, and it sounds really good. Question is, should I do multipass or snap heap? Multipass is like the multi-band version of snap heap. Snap heap, the process goes to the whole frequency range. So let's see. Well, I'll go snap heap for now. Pitch shifter 12 up. What does that sound like? It's popular to go 12 down. Face distortion. Disperser. Still trying to figure out what that does. Tape stub can be cool on these things. Stop time. Start time right away. The only weird thing, you can't automate just pressing that button for some reason. You gotta actually make it into a macro. Maybe? Let's try that out. This is where I'm like, is that necessary? Is it? This is the stuff that takes time, right? Like you can like fucking try so many things. Transgate could be fun. Not 32 notes, 16. Yeah. What else can we do with it? Pitch shifter, we try phaser. Highs. Any more questions? Come at me. I'm just jamming. Just testing out stuff. Anyway, how's everybody's Sunday going? Had a good week? All is peachy. All right, so that was a cool vocal hook. Go through some more samples.
Hey, oh, be here with me. You're so cold to me.
Oh, that could sound like it would fit in there. Just gotta try it out. I'm just having fun. Which is what music is about, isn't it?
You're so cold to me.
Holy yes. Favorite DSR ever so far? This one. Just works.
You're so cold.
Like you hear that?
You're so.
Versus.
You're so cold to me. You're so.
Done. I'm just gonna make that work with the beat.
You're so cold to me.
So let's just loop for now.
You're so. You're so. You're so. You're so cold to. You're so cold to me. 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 You're so cold to me.
Just like that, you just kind of fix that with a dynamic EQ.
You're so cold to me.
Now it's gone.
You're so cold to me.
Without sounding, but there's another frequency.
You're so cold to me.
Right there. It's always around 2, 4, 2, 6, something like that.
You're so cold to me. 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 You're so cold to me.
I know. I'm just like hoping that this will sound cool.
You're so cold to me.
Obviously, I'm gonna remove some of the other ones.
You're so cold to me. You're so.
Too much.
You're so. You're so. You're so cold to me. 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 You're so
could be a cool little hook somewhere for that song. Yeah, I don't consider myself a fan of hip hop either. However, this is part of what I kind of do on and off sometimes to expand my horizon musically. And there's a lot to learn from hip hop. Much being the simplicity of it. I mean, I'm not saying it's simple, but there's not much going on, but yet it sounds so freaking good. And again, the whole less is more. And I'm actually planning on doing some industrial hip hop. I know, what the fuck, but something tells me it could be really cool. Like if it's like really, edgy, dirty, filthy, like EBM industrial, but hip hop. I don't know. Just got a feeling. I mean, genre aside, like a lot of this stuff you can apply to any any genre. Let's see what else I got going on Yeah, I mean, I'm working on. I got a whole folder full of ideas. Some of them, the ideas are like full songs, basically, for the next Comor Commando album, which I really, really, really need to finish or actually start on. Just being a parent and all these other projects and obligations take time, so. All those things will happen. And there may or may not be an industrial hip hop song on that album. Just trying to figure out the overall sound and vibe that I would like to go for. Like, I literally have already a whole album worth of songs, but by the time, some of those songs were written like 2-3 years ago, and I'm just not feeling them anymore, unfortunately. So it will stay in the vault. So once I get my Patreon page up and running, I'll release some super mega exclusive vault things, including maybe songs that would never see the light of the day. But if you will become a Patreon member, you will have access to this stuff, like as exclusive as it gets. I will, of course, post the Patreon page once I feel it's, respectable in the sense that there is enough content to make sense for people to sign up. Like right now I have it set up, but I just don't have the content yet. This video might end up being part of it, but just figuring out the gist of it, like how frequently one should upload videos and what other what other things I could put up there besides like exclusive songs, like personal messages, shout outs. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited because starting tomorrow I will actually have a lot more time on my hand because my 5-year-old son started kindergarten, so I will actually have 6 hours a day without interruption. Sorry, Max, I love you, but I do love this as well, and I need to have time to do this. And yeah, I mean, industrial hip hop. I mean, who did Frontline Assembly? Was that on the Millennium album? There's like that one song. But I don't know. I honestly can't say I've heard industrial hip hop or industrial rap type of stuff before. So I'm hoping that I'm like tapping into something. Because, there's so much music out there and everybody's like, there's just, I don't know. I want to try something different without losing the roots of industrial and EBM, which is even the TV stuff I do is like whenever I can drop some industrial EBM type of stuff I do, even though it's like commercial sounding, but gotta represent where you can. Yeah. Because I personally think, what's that phrase? Music needs to be dangerous again. Even industrial, like, no offense to any band. I'm not trying to step on any toes. It's kind of boring, man. It's all the same. It's like I hear 5 songs and I've heard 10 days worth of music. But, people dance to it. People go to the clubs and enjoy it. And that's what matters. I just feel the scene itself is basically locked into a square where everything sounds the same, more or less. And I don't think that's healthy for any genre of music, really. So maybe industrial hip-hop or something like that will shake it up a bit. Anyway, I'm going to just keep looking for some sounds. I'm kind of getting bored of hearing this loop now. Are you? Greetings from Germany. Wie geht's? Edbot. Hello, hello. Let's just see what else. I just want to look for some samples. And initially wanted some piano in here, but I'm not sure. G minor.
Don't tell me again, don't go. Come back to me, but the truth is out there.
X-Files theme, yo.
But the truth is out there.
Is that what Scully sings when Mulder's not watching?
But the truth is out there. Don't go away, don't trust. I need you, I want you. Just a moment.
Don't get me wrong, like, I love it industrial to the end of times, just because, I mean, it's easily to get emotionally attached to what you grew up listening to, right? But industrial, it's running in my veins. I got oil for blood. It was always, that was the thing that got me on this path. And so obviously never deviate from that. There's always going to be industrial elements in anything I do. Or EBM, I don't know. There's all these genres now. Terror EBM, or is it terror industrial, like pop? Each to their own. I don't know. I come from a time where industrial wasn't, you know what I mean? There were beats, there were like, people weren't just doing 4 on the floor. However, I was also in there in the middle of that whole thing where suddenly industrial EBM shifted into more club music, meaning more 4 on the floor. Because you might hate this fact, but it is a fact nevertheless. No matter what genre you're listening to, it could be the most obscure thing, our minds will gravitate towards something it remembers, something familiar, something that sticks out, or is a hook, or, a phrase, whether it's a sample, vocal, or an instrument. So you can be obscure as you want. That's, it's up to you. But I just think that being different, you lose a little bit of that musicality, which is why bands like Skinny Puppy and, Frontline Assembly, to mention a couple, in its core, it's very industrial raw, but there's like so much musicality in there, like rest in peace, Dwayne Gertel, like he was classically trained, and there's like, so even though Skinny Puppy is like, edgy and dark and gritty, and there's actual music, harmonies, stuff in there that sort of paints the whole picture versus just 135 BPM, douche, 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 and then ish, whatever. I am not actually joking that telling you that everyone can do that. Like that is like the easiest thing in the world. Now, turning that into a song that works, well, that's not that easy, obviously. You gotta, got the ebb and the flow and the build ups and the breakdowns and, gotta keep it interesting. Which is where musicality comes in. Which is why bands like Underworld, if you enjoy that band, one of my favorite bands, they have like 7 minutes long songs with literally 1 bar, 2 bar loops, the whole thing. But everything is done so well, and it's musical, even though it's not so complex. See, I know, of course, his vocals just really brings it home, but I don't know. Like, every time I hear, "Oh, check out my band, check out this new song, this new album," and I'm like, I've heard that song at least 50 times, unfortunately. And so you got to bring something new to the table, and this is what makes music interesting, right? You take some from the old, from the present, and then you try to push it into something different that haven't been heard before. Which is why I'm almost, and I mean almost, tempted to listen to some jazz. I'm not a fan of jazz, but I know you gotta. This is why I'm playing with this kind of stuff, because subconsciously you just think about different ideas, different sounds. Like I've done industrial where one of the main hooks is a distorted piano. Like it's just a piano sound, but I distorted the shit out of it. And, don't be afraid to try different sounds. Like detuned unisaw saw waves. Like, can we just stop that already? Like, fuck. There's like, it's so I find it very ironic and somewhat sad. Like we have these days in music, you can do anything. You don't even have to have a super duper mega computer, whatever, a laptop or even a phone. Like there's some apps. Like any sound is accessible through a few clicks away or just some browsing or searching. Like you can do anything. So why is that scene so stuck in that? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's unfortunate. So hopefully I'll shake it up a bit with the new Kumar Commando album. I'm in no way trying to sound cocky or, "Ooh, I'm better." Like, no. It's just, don't just listen to the music that you're making. I think that would be like a really, really good advice, because I've heard so many potentially good bands and songs, and they just can't look outside that square they found themselves in. And, a potentially really good song just loses all impact because they're following this template that their favorite band does. And there's nothing wrong with that. And just, you can do anything these days, so don't play it safe. Music needs to be dangerous, interesting. Sorry. Excuse me. Chugging coffee. You love jazz, eh? Yeah, I for some reason never got into jazz because, I don't know, some preconceived bullshit. I'm sure there's a lot of great jazz out there. And I mean, dare I say, Tool is like tickling the jazz world a bit. Band like Tool, even Deftones, with their cool beats, cool time signatures. I just never been a fan of solos. Like a lot of jazz I've heard anyway. It's just basically 4 minutes of 5 guys each doing a minute solo. Okay, cool. You can play really well. That's great. I'm just not, catching on. But if you know of any cool jazz, please do send me a link. I'll love to hear it. Big fan of blues though. Like I'm talking like really old, rusty, crackly blues, where you can like hear the guy sitting on a chair and this chair squeaking as he's playing. Like really, just a board with some strings on it. Like I don't think anything compares to like legit old school blues. Sorry, I'm just reading your question there. Don't you know Norway jazzist and experimenter? I don't know, man. When I was in Norway, we were in the studio and hung out with other guys doing the same thing. We're pretty much in our own space and world, not listening to much. Sort of like the growth of the initiation of where I am now. And thank you, Elizabeth, for your kind words. Arve Henriksen, Jan Bunk. I think I know Jan Bunk. That does ring a bell. Yeah, I don't know. Jazz just kind of went over my head for some reason. Anyway, I'm just going to find some more sounds while we keep this conversation going. What else? Let's see.
Oh, hey, oh, you're so cold to me.
I don't know. Aliens and robots. Loops music. The one instrument I tend to use for loops is Falcon. It has this addition called Mayhem of Loops, which is it's got some really cool stuff in there. Bass, chords. Toms. World percussion. Love world percussion. Oh, now we're talking. Check this out quickly here. Check the take that click off. Of course, now it's getting a bit, busy in the mix, so probably not a good idea to drop this in there. Oh shit! Created a bit of a swing there. Now to find cool spots. Possible. I'm not sure how that will sound with the snare on. See, initially this sounded cool, but maybe it's just the volume. Way busy. You can see, starting a bit off here. Maybe. Just maybe. See, now it's getting too busy. Too much stuff going on. Create that classic groove. Kind of works, but kind of predictable too, right? It's always fun to just put things where you just try all the opportunities, try all the options. This is why I love this track versions thing. Just duplicate. Two. And then you can just see what works. Does anyone know if it's actually possible to automate which track version? I haven't found anywhere I can do that. I guess you can call that like a lazy automation, but should be possible to switch between things like that. So I like somewhere in between. Maybe you'll add both. Too busy. Let's just cut this out. Just hear the rhythmic part. So you can like kind of dramatically change the overall vibe. Anyway, I just realized I've been streaming for 2 hours. So I gotta get some stuff done. Anyways, thanks for watching. And again, please click like and subscribe. And stay tuned for a Patreon page and all those other things popping up sometime this month. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great Sunday. And I'll talk to you soon.